You're that godlike, the Adiran envoy. You're the one who saves the ambassador from the strangle root, right? I'm just trying to help some friends of mine. They're Adirans, but they've had a string of bad luck. Is there any chance you could lend them a hand? Galarde. Lawfled and Gladwine came here about 8 years ago, long before the recent rush of Adirans. They admitted to having a checkered past back home, but they started a new life in Paradis. Back then, you'd struggle to find an Adiran in the city. Now they're everywhere. That's all very well for His Highness, but it was trouble for my friends. Anyway, with all these Adirans coming in, Lawfled and Gladwine started spotting old faces. And if they were spotting old faces, it was only a matter of time before those faces started spotting them back. They're lying low in the shantytown for now, but they mean to leave for Thirdborn.
Adirans in the shantytown. I doubt they're getting a warm welcome. Most of the people there are Paradisans run out by Adir.
They're afraid to go out in public, and Gladwine, poor soul, he's gone blind from bad drink. Exactly. And the required herbs grow in the wilds around Paradis. It's a little too dangerous for us ordinary folks, but for the Adiran envoy, for the hero who braved the strangle root, I'm sure it will be no problem.
Ending with flattery is a nice touch.
Agrasima. Many thanks, envoy. Oh, there is one more thing they need. Land deeds. They've already paid for them. There's a Rawatayan in the Pearl District, Mako, who was handling the paperwork. I don't know. That's the problem. Mako and I had a falling out a while back. It's best if someone else goes. Thank you, envoy. God bless you.
I just don't get it. It's like there's something in the soil this year.
Envoy, got a situation over here. Oh, good. You came over. Glad to see you're up and about.
For fuck's sake, can we move this along? I don't have all day.
I'm glad. I hate to admit it, but the guards could use your help. Most of us are off searching for the ones who attacked you. That leaves us short-handed, so people like her try to sneak in. I caught this one, but I have to check her cart for contraband. There's a lot to dig through. Find anything? Find anything? I knew you were hiding something. You'd better have an ironclad explanation for this.
I don't know anything. Someone's trying to set me up.
Thanks for the help, Envoy. I think I can handle it from here.
I could use some luminous Ardra myself. These bones aren't getting any younger.
Sometimes we get more contraband coming through here than honest goods. Wouldn't want their diplomats going hungry or sober.
You died. But you're here. Gods, am I glad to see you. I'll keep trying. But there's not much to be done for Fort Northreach.
Envoy, hello. I'm glad to see you on your feet. Kai.
Tej.
I'm surprised they let you in here.
I'm surprised you're still gainfully employed.
It's nothing like that. You run into all sorts of characters around here, is all. Some more polite than others. I didn't mean anything by it, Envoy. He's just curious company for you to keep.
Hey, somebody has to have the envoys back, because you all sure didn't.
No one expected the Envoy to get assassinated.
Exactly. Amateurs. Well,
Kai?
come on, it's funny. Tej caused a ruckus last time he was slumming it at the Ballad Rock. You were trying to kill a man, if I remember right. I had to put you outside.
You threw me into the canal.
You lived.
That water's filthy. I had the runs for 3 days.
Gods, Tej. The envoy doesn't need to know that.
The fellow cheated me. I couldn't let that slide. Or he'd think we were all marks.
It was over a dice game, right? Tej here has a gambling problem.
Great. Let's air all my troubles. Is there anything else?
The bartender sleeping with your girlfriend.
You're lying.
You sure about that?
We'll talk about this later.
I'm not breaking up with her for you. Just so we're clear.
That's more than enough. Thank you. Was there anything I could help you with, Envoy? The 7-foot-tall Almawa with biceps the size of my head? No, I am not.
Flatterer. You know I'm barely over 6.5.
Naturally, sir. How can I help you? What would you like to know? If you're looking for a particular year, the first thing you should know about Paradis is that this isn't the kind of place where the locals keep records. And though it might be considered a distant backwater by the rest of the world, this city is the height of civilization by the standards of the living lands. As for who calls this place home, I suspect you could find a criminal, confidence man, or prophet from every civilization in the world here.
Hey, come on. You're gonna give the envoy the wrong idea. We've got draft dodgers, courtesans, and revolutionaries, too. You know, all the fun people.
In any event, as far as I can tell, Paradis has been this way since its inception. Thus the eclectic display of architectural styles. If nothing else, this city is a reflection of the countless people who have passed through it on their way to the interior. Depends on who you ask. Ambassador Heelgard will tell you that our remit here is to establish a secure and orderly environment from which to engage in trade. Inquisitor Liudwin will tell you we're here to break the frontier.
So, which is it?
Why not both? That's where you come in. Whether you find your desires aligning with the ambassadors or the inquisitors, neither can succeed until the Dream Scourge is ended. We are only beginning to see its effects here in Dawnshore, but the closer to the center of the island you go, the worse it gets. That bear you and the ambassador encountered in the Strangle Route isn't even the worst of it, and the tide of this soul plague is rising higher every day. Look, for all that I complain about this backwater, there are good people here. Same as anywhere else. People who want to be able to walk to the market in the morning for their bread and eggs and know they won't be mugged. People who like it when the mail comes on time, and their skates are made from real copper, and their neighborhood peeping Tom ends up in the stocks. Those people, good and honest people, who pay their debts and honor their contracts and remember to thank the gods. They like us a lot. The Resistance, as such, are largely a group of misfits and criminals intent on undermining the rule of law. They take out loans with small Aderan banking houses and do not pay them, then assault the bankers who attempt to collect. They agreed to contracts with families in Adir seeking homes, and when their ships arrive, promptly abandon them. When we levy a small tax to fund the repair of city roads, they set our counting house on fire. And when our fishermen return to port, they board their ships and sink them.
That's certainly one way to characterize them. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either.
For decades, people like them ruled this city through fear. We imposed order, and now they oppose us. You, unfortunately, were caught in the crossfire. By all means. There's a lot of ground to cover. Could you be more specific? Ah, the age-old question. Who's bigger? Adir is, naturally, by a wide margin. And were we at the Cartographers Guild in High Crown, I could show you on one of their globes. As it is, we must make do in the theater of our minds. The Living Lands are located in the far north of Aora. Adir is southwest of the Living Lands, situated along the equator. The Living Lands are more arid than Adir, and the island is more prone to storms. But its many deep valleys protect the various townships from the worst of the weather. Topographically speaking, the Living Lands are a place of extremes. Deep inland, mountains rise high enough to rival those of the White March, blanketed year-round in snow. While east of the volcano of Mount Forja is an acid sea that sinks far below the level of the ocean. The lands between them are riven with deep clefts in the earth and isolated by wastelands of sun-baked sand dunes. I'll share what I can. There is no singular authority in the Living Lands.
Not yet, anyway.
I shudder to think what the Living Lands would look like under your rule.
Well, to start, there'd be a lot more brothels.
Charming. Power is invested in the leaders of the various townships scattered across the island. The largest are Fjord, Thirdborn, and Solace. None of which, I will note, are as safe and orderly as Paradis. Fjord Messeverno is located in a valley known locally as the Emerald Stair, named for the terraced rice paddies that cover its hillsides. It is our closest neighbor. The city, if you can call it that, was founded 50 years ago by animancers from the Valian Republics. Apparently, the laws governing animancy weren't lenient enough in the Republics. So the city's founders came to the Living Lands, where they could practice their discipline more freely. Currently, Fjord is governed by a man named Ignacy Vidaro. Rather inept to hear the ambassador talk about him. Fjord's farmers supply most of the grain and vegetables we eat here in Paradis. Or it did. Their shipments have been infrequent lately. Something about a blight in the fields. In any event, I believe that covers Fjord. The Valian Republics are a collection of city-states in the Eastern Reach, southeast of our former colony, the Deerwood. The Republics began life as colonies of the Grand Empire of Valia, hence the name. But as Grand Valia's economy collapsed, well, the colonies saw an opportunity to escape the influence of the Empire of Origin, and they seceded, much as the Deerwood did from Adir. Now a mature confederation in their own right, the Republics have recently indulged their own expansionist ambitions in the Deadfire Archipelago. Through their merchants in the Valian Trading Company, the Republics will sell you anything you could ever wish to buy.
Up to and including people.
We should count ourselves lucky they've had no interest in the Living Lands. In a struggle between our Emperor and the Republic's great dukes, well, I doubt we would come out on top. But if anyone asks, I was not the one who told you that. Everything you need to know about Thirdborn is in its name. It was founded by the Thirdborn children of Rawatai, Navy dropouts, smugglers, and hands for hire. Almawa and Orleans, mostly.
Home, sweet home.
You're free to go back any time you like.
I like my current circumstances just fine, thanks.
They are people, in short, who couldn't cut it in the civilized world and had to make room on the margins. Unfortunately, they are currently besieged by the Dream Scourge. We have sent some troops to lend what help we can, and the mayor, Temerity, was appropriately grateful, but I don't know how long they'll hold out. Rauatai is one of the old empires, every bit as storied as Grand Valia or our native Adir. If Adir is to the southwest of the Living Lands, Rauatai is to the southeast. And unlike our home, their small continent is racked by terrible storms. This is due, or rather, was due, to the island's proximity to Andra's mortar, the unending super hurricane that once hid the ancient city of Ukaizo. Rauatai is largely peopled by Aumaua, descended from those who fled the Deadfire Archipelago centuries ago, when Andra pulled the moon, Ioni Brather, into the sea. They are an aggressive, militant culture, and personally, I find their obsession with gunpowder rather quaint. They are also our chief rivals on the world stage.
I don't think they see it that way.
No?
Well, as far as Navy brass is concerned, Adir doesn't really rate.
Now you're just making things up.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't think about you at all.
Solace is, what is there to say, really?
Yeah, they tend to have that effect on people.
The trouble is, I don't know much about Solace. Nobody does. They are an isolationist community of Pargrunan dwarves who live in the forbidding ways of Galawain's tusks. They don't let outsiders into their lands, and they don't let their people out of them.
Some folks get out from time to time, but they can't ever go back. And the ones who survive aren't eager to talk about their experiences.
People aside, the land itself is incredibly hostile. The island's volcano, Mount Forja, rests at the heart of the region, and it's recently become active. Half the land is lava rock, and the other half is, well, literally lava. I don't know why anyone lives there. I have to assume they're all insane.
You have no idea.
Naturally. The Pargrunan are a unique community of mountain dwarves originating in Old Valia. As a people, they've made their name as explorers, builders, miners. No doubt you've seen their ruins in your travels, here, back home in Adir, and all across the world. They maintain a rich tradition of oral storytelling, chanted magics, and ritual carving, which they take great pains to record and transmit across their various communities. Even the most physically isolated Pargrun is not alone. Somewhere, one of their people is thinking of them and planning an expedition. Abidan must cherish them.
You sound like you admire them.
I suppose I do. I'm an open book. Consider yourself lucky. Inquisitor Ludwine is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradis. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as prosecute it. As ruthlessly as the ambassador will let her. She's also a veteran of the Steel Garrote's campaign in the Deadfire, where she died.
She's a Death Guard. Well, that explains a lot.
I don't know what happened to her there, but I suppose Wodica wasn't done with her yet. Cryptic Neil! I remember him fondly. I took every upper-level course the university offered on memory and recall to circumvent the Walian glamour on him. And even then, it only barely worked. I had to look at him out of the corner of my eye and half cross them while thinking of something dreadfully boring like, grimoire repair. On the upside, it's made me an exceptional clerk. But that's neither here nor there. We were discussing Death Guards. Death Guards are surpassingly rare. Some of the secretaries who traveled with our dignitaries in the Deadfire spoke of one named Iser, a devotee of Berith, who guards the hanging sepulchres there. But I have heard of none others except those I've read about in the histories. They are people, most often paladins or priests, so devoted to a cause that they simply refuse to pass on to the wheel when they die. Their soul haunts their body. The passion required to sustain them devours their flesh, and they swiftly turn to bone. I've never read a history nor tale of a death god that did not end with them going quite mad. When they lose their capacity to care for anything but their cause, they cannot love. And when they cannot love, they cannot be merciful. And so everything before them becomes only an obstacle. I only met her once. She was a mid-level member of the Steel Garrote then, chasing oathbreakers who'd fled Adiran law. She'd come back to the Imperial Archives to borrow a map to a place called Oathbinder's Sanctum. I remember she was furious because the map was quite poor. She worried about finding the place, about properly executing her duty to her god. She wanted, I think, to do a good job. So, while clearly she has changed, in some sense, I'd say she's much the same. Think upon your promises and die. That's the litany of the Steel Garrote, usually said right before they kill you. They're an order of paladins born and bred in Adir, though clearly they've found plenty of work beyond our borders. Their remit is simple but comprehensive. They punish all who break their oaths. In practice, that has historically meant contracts. One lord or merchant will hire the Steel Garrote to bring a duplicitous rival to justice.
Fun bunch. What are they doing in Paradis?
Since the events in the Deadfire, their operations have expanded. The Steel Garrote has always been associated with Wodaka. Now, they are explicitly her order. And they go wherever Wodaka's priests, or Wodaka herself, believes there is a need for them to go. The Living Lands are a dangerous, lawless frontier in sore need of order. Thus, they are here. Or so the Steel Garrote say. Do you think so? I've always found her inflexibility comforting. Wodaka's edicts are clear. If you obey her laws, pursue justice, punish the guilty, and give fealty to the Emperor, then you have pleased her, and I aim to please. But Wodaka does not trust. She demands that you declare yourself for her again and again. Her every request is a test, and her every test is an opportunity to disappoint her. I appreciate a god who makes you work for their grace. I don't want anything given to me for free. Of course. I trust whomever told you to consult a watcher also told you to avoid the one in the city. She is a liar and a thief.
Oh, did she take your money?
No. Anyway, watchers are individuals capable of perceiving souls. The soul may be in a living body, or it may simply be lingering, waiting to pass into the in-between. In either case, interacting with a soul allows a watcher to glimpse a person's past lives or their most deeply buried memories. Watchers are incredibly rare, and in Adir, highly controlled. Many people wish to know who they were in a previous life, and do not like what they learn. The smart ones stay hidden. They do not announce their powers, perhaps not even to themselves. Even a careful watcher risks inadvertently revealing themselves by knowing something they shouldn't know. Of the ones that are public, little is concretely known. But we hear things. They make good judges in Wodaka's courts, so long as they're controlled. The lords, it's rumored, buy and sell them to collect blackmail on their enemies. But I suspect many watchers are imprisoned or executed, or simply kill themselves. A watcher doesn't need your cooperation or consent to read your soul. They could learn everything about you, terribly damaging things about your parentage, for example, or things you did in a past life, without you ever knowing. You see how this could threaten the established order, undermine our betters' right to rule.
Yeah, but that's just one side to it. Imagine how a Watcher feels, knowing what a threat they are to the status quo. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be keen on kings and emperors wanting me dead. Sounds like a lot of hassle.
Don't sell yourself short, Kai. I don't doubt you're an expert in people wanting you dead.
You're not wrong.
I rarely am. In any case, the Watcher is fundamentally a tragic figure. Of the few that survive our world, most are destined to go mad. Yes and no. So far as I understand it, a Watcher is born a Watcher. But it takes an event, often something shocking or traumatic, to bring a Watcher's powers to the fore. So you may be a Watcher, or I may be, or Kai, and we might not even know. Well, the Watcher of Cadnua is legendary. It was their castle Aethys destroyed when he began his campaign of terror in the Dead Fire. Oh, by the Queen, I hope I get to meet them someday. In terms of local interest, you'll have heard of Runid, of course. And there was Ida. You may not know about her. She was a Watcher from the Living Lands. I believe she was an Orlan. She must have died, 150 years ago. Slain by a great serpent, gods treat kindly with her soul. Doubtless there are others, but most don't meet a good end. I don't think so.
The Envoy is right. You're basically a Watcher encyclopedia.
Why should a secretary be limited to knowledge of filing systems and how the ambassador takes his tea? I was a boy once. Watchers were a special interest of mine when I was young.
He sounds defensive to me. Does he sound defensive to you, Envoy?
I am not a Watcher.
Exactly what a Watcher would say.
Both of you, please, your fun puts me at tremendous risk. This isn't a subject the Inquisitor takes lightly.
All right, all right. I know you're not a Watcher, Teach. You'd be better at dice.
Apology accepted. I'm an open book. Well, you'll notice I'm nearly always here. If that man sleeps, I don't know about it. He wouldn't say, but I believe he relied on the Claviger far more than he lets on. And without the Claviger's steady hand at the rudder, the ambassador's struggling just to bail water from the sinking ship that is Paradis.
Claviger Amon might have tolerated a little more chaos than the ambassador liked, but he kept this place humming. He's not someone you can easily replace, and not with one man alone.
It's a difficult job. The pressure sometimes gets the better of him. But if he loses his temper now and then, I can't blame him for it. Better him than me. He doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, in our first days here, he'd often walk to the end of the docks at sunrise. The work was done, the embassy was closed, and he'd still be wearing the same clothes he'd slept in at his desk. And he'd just stare out over the sea. He always seemed dissatisfied back then. I suppose, years later, he still does. Oh, be serious. Most of us here didn't get sent to the frontier because we were anybody's favorite. The longer I'm here, the more likely the people who matter are to forget me. And I'd actually like to get back to High Crown someday. Get married, have a few kids, take the civil exams, and settle into a permanent clerkship.
I guess there are worse ways to spend a life.
Like rotting in this embassy. Of course. Should you ever need me, I will be here. Safe travels, Envoy.
Envoy, is it really you?
it's the envoy!
Envoy, hey!
I swear, I owe you the world.
I owe him the world. He saved my life, remember?
Yeah, you only told me about 100 times.
Hey, where's Yeda? Is everyone else on their way?
No. Oh, God. Does he mean...
They didn't make it, Offric. I'm sorry.
But you saved Cadman. You couldn't save them? Or you didn't try?
What happened?
What?
They probably went quickly, if that helps.
I can't understand this.
Hey, Offric, hey, listen. We always knew that was a risk, right? And we told ourselves.
Better to go out at the bottom of the world or the top. And dying in bed like Granda, asking what if.
Did you avenge them? Is the Oracle dead? What? But he...
What? Senseless killing won't bring them back. They didn't get justice, but at least I got my brother back.
Don't be a baby. You would have been fine without me.
What I mean to say is, we're grateful, Envoy. Ambassador Heelguard has written to Expedition Command back in High Crown to see if they'll let us come home.
While we wait for their reply, I thought...
Wait. Let me guess. Mermaid's Den.
You told him?
It was a moment of weakness. I thought I was dead. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to give you this. It belonged to our grandfather. He'd always wanted to join the Corps, but life got in the way. When we were recruited, he gave it to us to remind us to live well.
Well, I'm sure you've got big Envoy things to do.
I don't know if you heard, but there's a plague on and everything.
If you're ever in High Crown, look us up.
Yeah, we can drink to the Corps together.
I wish things had turned out better for the rest of their crew, but I'm glad they made it. One of them may even get a happy ending. Guess Adiran discipline doesn't apply to pest control. Just getting warmed up. Stand back. I don't think the new owners like company. Next one's mine. You're mine now.
Good find.
Hope you don't mind spiders.
One for you! Aye, aye. Here it comes. Coming in hot. Here we go! Nice shot! Another glorious battle.
You know what you're doing.
Tragedy. The recently arrived envoy from Adir was assassinated just inside the front gates. Killer is still at large.
walk in, give her the letter, and go. You can do this. You don't have to say anything. The letter will do the talking for you. Sort of. Maybe you can help. I was seeing this girl, Nasha, down at the bathhouse. I'm sure it was just business at first, but we fell in love. I haven't been in a while, though. And the thing is, I've met someone else. I suppose. Still, I can't just abandon her. I wrote her a letter, but I'm too cowardly to deliver it. If you're headed that way, would you mind giving it to her? Thank you. I used to wonder why no one talked about this. Now I understand. Nasha should be working right now. The place is called the Mermaid's Den. It's the big one with the balcony and the round window.
Fisherman missing. Last seen near the watermill, northwest of the river. Need coin? See Sansa in Hightown. He seeks explorers to assist him in mapping the living lands.
Must not be high, right? You should see the drunks try to grab the lanterns. Gets me every time.
saved my life. He would have killed me, and all for a few coins.
This may not be the prettiest part of town, but it's got the grinning Battle Rock.
Any injuries I should know about? No? You know how it is. Fighting in the alleys, rumor of a plague, odd creatures skulking out of the wilderness. Someone somewhere always needs to get patched up. And when they need me, here I am.
Nothing to see here, Envoy. The situation's under control. I caught this waste of life mugging a protected citizen. I just did what came naturally.
I thought all Paradisans were protected citizens.
These things happen from time to time. Inquisitor Ludwine understands. I assume you do too. Now that's what I like to hear. I leave you to your job, and you leave me to mine. You understand what it takes to maintain order. We're going to do great things with you around.
I'm not saying violence is never the answer, but she's a little too keen to deploy it.
Paradis is getting more dangerous by the hour.
Just stand there. Come in.
Go eavesdrop on someone else.
Evening.
It's not polite to eavesdrop on ladies, you know.
Don't get many adherents in here.
Just stand there. Come in. The Battle Rock's always open. Sit down. What do you want? If you want information, I've got it. Just a matter of what you'll pay for it. The locals are worried about the steel garrote coming into town. Whatever Wodica wants, she's bound to find it. Suit yourself. Just stand there. Come in. Welcome back. As opposed to what? Some of my crewmates smoked it when I sailed with the Principe. Figured if any of them ever washed up here, they'd want a place to land. Suit yourself. Welcome back. Like what? Oh, it's you. Well, strike me blind. You cheat death, and then you come to a place like this? You must be trying to prove something. Just stand there. Come in. The Ballarot. Welcome back. Don't go starting trouble.
Step right up. I can tell you need more fire in your life. Or maybe more essence. Please buy something. I'm trying to prove a point. My sister, the blacksmith, she doesn't think this will work out. I say she's wrong. Why keep a dagger under your pillow when you can use a ward stone instead? See? You understand. It's not cheating. It's being prepared. Of course not. I wouldn't sell you something I thought would kill you. That's not good for business. Oh dear. Yes, that could have some unintended results. All right, that one's not for sale. What else can I interest you in?
Oh, you are a special one, you are. I thought all the godlikes were taken back, wherever they came from. Don't mean a thing by it. I'm glad to see not all the gods have abandoned us. I know we had one or two disappear lately. Gods took them back, I heard. Just another sign, I guess? You should know, this place is heading quickly into a swamp of madness. Even the plants and the animals feel it. I would say welcome to the living lands, but things have gotten even stranger lately. Sapiento di Falva, alchemist and dreamer, at your service. My latest experiment was meant to solve the scourge that has come over the local flora and fauna, but it wasn't meant to be. I expected my main reagent to be delivered today, but I suppose the gods had other ideas. Awakened Adra has already failed me. No, I have the misfortune of requiring luminous Adra for this experiment. The gentlemen who are supposed to acquire my Adra have not delivered it, and they seem to be avoiding me, as if they fear my wrath. Ah, interesting. Rarely do cause and effect flow in this particular direction, but I'll go along. Thank you. Thank you! Now my work can continue. Take this. I was saving it for a rainy day, but who knows when that will be. Perfectly honest? My track record isn't great, but this is the best chance I've ever had. Thank you again, my wonderfully unique friend. May you find a kinship with this land.
This is an outrage. There has to be a logical explanation, sir. That's the ring my father gave me. It went missing last month. Are you fencing stolen goods?
Oh, our shop would never knowingly do such a thing. My assistant and I would be happy to return it to you. Yeah, all we need is a document proving you own it and it's yours.
I don't... Is there anything in this town that people won't take?
Buying something?
Damn it! And I know the militia won't help me.
You there. You look like you know your way around... hello. I heard what happened. I see why you'd want to protect yourself. Wait, is that star metal? Abaddon's arse, this stuff is rare. I'd love to make something with it, but I'd be afraid of ruining it. I can't think of anybody else in Paradis who could either. Who knows? Maybe there's a blacksmith in another city who can help. Well, if I were a betting girl, I'd wager one of the smiths in Solace Keep could work with it. Good luck getting inside, though. Or surviving the journey there. You mean enchanted? No. A shield does its job just fine. It doesn't need to be tinkered with. Talk to my sister if you're interested in that kind of thing. She's over there. At least I don't think she's blown herself up yet. I don't know where she gets it. I'd swear she was adopted if we didn't look alike. 3 generations of hammering, and then she comes along. Guess souls are strange like that. Probably because I made them. Or most of them, anyway. If it didn't keep them alive, they weren't skilled enough to use it. Ever heard the saying, a bad hunter blames Galawain for their bow?
The hunters set that up as a way to earn some extra coin.
Ain't many ways into that camp from what I've heard. You might want to consider trying to find one. A frontal assault would be mighty reckless. Tempestuous Luandi caught your eye, huh? Watch yourself. Her aim is as sharp as her wit. Going to take on the ogre then? Reckon he's the most dangerous bounty we've got. Be careful now. Oh, Octop. Now that's a dwarf with a chip on his shoulder. Heard he burnt the last ones that went after him alive. You're a brave soul, Envoy. Spiders are bad enough as is, let alone big mean bastards like Nasib. A pleasure, Envoy. I'm Aldrich, the bounty master of Paradis. If it suits your fancy, check the board for work. The dangerous kind. Some more than others. Speak to me when you've got something to turn in. Hey, someone had to take the job. Ensuring that these threats to the good people of Paradis are eliminated is my way of helping. I guess I consider it my first steps down a long road to atonement. Apologies, friend, but that's none of your concern. I left there for a reason, and now I'm here. And that's all you need to know. Show it here. Remind me not to get on your bad side, Envoy. Guess you were just the one storm she couldn't survive. I don't envy you having gone into that horrid place, but I'm thankful you did so. Good. Too many good men and women died because of that bastard. May he face Magran's fires in his next life. Be safe out there, you hear?
You there! Are you just going to stand there and walk with that body all day?
He's dead. It's not like I can do anything for him, now can I?
You can see that the poor bastard is properly processed.
You! What are you doing? This is a crime scene! That's evidence.
That's the Imperial Envoy. Stay out of his way.
Oh, right. My mistake.
Envoy?
Well, look who graced us with his presence. This is the Sparrowhawks district. State your business. Go on. But remember, Thala's got his eye on you. I wouldn't get on an ogre's bad side. Watch your back. Or don't.
Let's leave them alone. They look worried for someone. Smile and...
Best watch your step around here, Envoy. This is my district.
You break it, you buy it. Wonder who he crossed. Doesn't take much out here. Those are the papers the Adiran refugees are waiting for.
Adirans ain't welcome around the Pearl District. Mind yourself.
God, you got a real ugly mug.
So, the puny godkin wishes to speak with the great Thala. You and your countrymen are not welcome in this district. My district. Is that clear? One little slip in my district, Imperial Lapdog, and it'll be the last you ever make. No, little godkin. If I wished for a reason to spill your blood, you would already be a smear upon the cobblestones. Now be gone. Thala tires of your yammering.
Whatever a man wins at cards, he's bound to lose it here.
Now there's a face I'd never forget.
You're the talk of the town, Envoy. Everyone wants to meet you. Good nose. Hope you don't stick it in politics. They don't like envoys around here. They've been free for centuries. Surely you understand why they'd be nervous. Oh, that's a long story. Let's say it involved a dead duke and a bottle of quill leaf oil. I used to run Spirinto's finest bathhouse, if you can believe it. What? The Duke? Fell down some stairs. I warned him he was slippery. Now, if you've come to avail yourself, I'm sorry. We're closed. I'm out of some supplies that should have been here days ago. I'd hunt them down myself, but I don't have a firm enough hand. I need someone with more authority. Someone, well, someone like you. Come now, a lady has to have some secrets. I had a feeling we'd get along. The local strongmen, the Sparrowhawks, got a hold of the shipment. They must have thought it looked valuable. Unfortunately, they were right.
The Sparrowhawks used to be bullies. Now that Adair swept them into this neighborhood, they're bullies with a chip on their shoulder. Shipment or not, it's about time someone took them down a peg.
Aren't you amenable? My gentlemen usually have to pay me to tell them what to do. Go to the docks. Their lieutenant runs one of the warehouses there. He'll probably keep it close. I leave that up to you. Just don't mention I hired you. I have a reputation to maintain.
Huh? Who are you?
Belia's all right. I haven't seen her in an age. Oh, sweetie. We're closed. Are you here to see Juliana? Or can I help you with something else? Belia? But she hasn't come by in a couple of months. Did something? Oh, I understand. Of course, it all makes sense now. That poor girl. She thinks everything that goes wrong is her fault. I'm glad she's found someone. Yes, I did. Just not in the way she thought I did. Or perhaps not in the way she wanted. Thank you for bringing that letter, though. I was worried about her. I'll send one back. That should make her feel better.
Let us in, sweetheart.
I told you, we're closed.
Not for us, you're not.
What's a man gotta do to get his needs met around here?
Huh. If you think we'll roll over after you steal from us.
That's exactly what I think.
Fine. Take it up with Juliana.
Oh, don't worry. We will. Think she's too fancy for the likes of us, does she?
Go on. Juliana's inside. She doesn't bite, unless you ask.
If you don't take it, the adherents will. The other adherents, I mean. You can teach a person how to draw, but you can't teach good taste.
If you'd like to be useful, I could use another drink. I'm busy. Peddle your wares somewhere else.
Welcome. You must be the Adiran envoy I've heard so much about. All of my potions are brewed with care, only local ingredients. Well, to be honest, I heard that you rose from the dead? Still not sure if I believe it. When a person can say that like it's nothing, you just know the world has changed. Let me know if you need anything. It's the least I can do for the one who tried to save our claviger. The Living Lands has some of the most potent herbs and natural salves in all of Eora. And some of the deadliest poisons. The trick is knowing which is which.
If you'd like to be useful, I could could use another drink.